360 cameras and action cameras are a great way to capture some unique perspectives, but if you can't decide between the two different formats, Insta360 has a pretty unique product that you might want to check out. This is their new One RS, and this is just a newer version of their One R, which also had the same feature where you can change the lenses on here and interchange it between a 4K boost super lens, which will be kind of like an action camera setup, but then you can also put on a 360 degree module to capture 360 degree video. So making it kind of two cameras in one. What does the feature set list look like and how does it perform for the $550 price tag? Well, let's dive in and check it out. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we do have the Insta360 One RS. And this is a $550 package. We have the Twin, so they're calling it Twin Edition. It comes with two lenses. It has the kind of more action camera, which just has it on one side, and this is their 4K boost lens, which is a little bit upgraded over the previous generation 1R. And then they also have the 360 degree camera module on here as well. So let's show you how this works. Basically, there's this kind of battery on the bottom that can unclip with a little spring-loaded clip, and then this will all come apart. And so you have the one core, which I have the battery door open. Let me close that real quick. So we have the one core, which has the touchscreen on it. It has a little compartment that has both the USB-C charging port and also the micro SD card slot. And then up top, it has two buttons. It has a power button and the capture button. And then you have the two different modules. So you can either connect in the 4K boost lens, or you can connect in the 360 lens. And those just clip in here pretty easily. Actually, I'll show you with the boost lens, it can go either way. So if you want it, the screen facing yourself, or if you want the screen facing the other way. So depending on what kind of content you're capturing, whether you want to capture something out and see the screen, or you want to do it, more like a vlog setup and see yourself, you can do that either way. But then once you have the module on there, you have to put the little battery grip on there, and there's just some little things to connect. It lines right up, and then it'll just snap on there. And then the fourth piece of this setup is their little action camera mount, or it's kind of like a case or cage as well. So this will slide in and then kind of lock in here. And then you have the kind of action camera mount down here that'll work with a ton of different accessories and GoPro accessories as well. And you do have to have it in this cage for it to be waterproof, and it is waterproof up to 16 feet when in this cage. And spec-wise, it can shoot 5.7K in 360 video. The 4K boost lens can shoot 4K 60 FPS or 4K 30 FPS with an active HDR mode, and some nice upgrades over the previous generation. So for $550, you're getting this kit. You're getting both of the lenses in here that are interswappable, and that's the same price, the same MSRP as like the GoPro Hero 10, but then also the GoPro Max 360 camera as well. So to get both of these together in one kit is, seems like a really good deal. And one thing to note here, Insta360 did send this out. This is a pre-production model, so there might be a few changes and tweaks with the production model that will actually ship. So let's talk about some of the updates over the previous 1R. So the new RS has a very similar form factor. Actually, I think some of the lenses are even interchangeable with this new core, but it has some great upgrades built in there. With the new 4K boost lens that we have on here, this thing can capture 48 megapixel stills. So that's some pretty huge resolution if you are taking photos. The One RS also has an additional microphone for some better audio and a redesigned cage to help with audio when you are in kind of high wind environments. And I tested this on my motorcycle, so we'll talk about that just a little bit later. On the actual core itself, there are two new buttons. There is a quick menu button and a fast zoom button. So this makes it really quick and easy to change your video settings with that Q. It's kind of like a quick change button. If you push that, all of your little video presets will pop up, and so you can quickly swap between different modes. And then with the zoom button, if you press that, that will let you really quickly change what level of zoom you have. So whether you have the super wide when you are using the boost lens, or if you're using a linear mode. So once again, it's just some quick changes and quick access to those different settings. Additionally, Wi-Fi is 50% faster. The battery capacity has been increased by I think like 21%, and improved in-camera FlowState stabilization means it's even faster and easier to export media for like social media. So to try out the camera and the 360 lens, I went for a canoe float with my kids, and I also rode around my motorcycle for a little bit. And then to test out the 4K boost lens, the kind of the action camera setup, I strapped it to my chest on a chest mount while riding my bicycle a little bit. So with that 5.7K, I found the One RS to look really great for 360 video. It's a fun way to shoot. I often ride motorcycles, and being able to record some of my adventures in a third-person like view, thanks to the invisible selfie stick feature, is really a lot of fun. Reframing and zooming are really easy on the 360 app, as well as in the camera itself, and also when editing the videos in Premiere Pro. Now, it's never going to look, quite as sharp as a DSLR, an iPhone, or even the 4K boost lens attachment, but for me, the creative possibilities that the 360 cameras enable make up for those compromises. Especially from a consumer side, where the majority of this content captured would just be for social media or for fun family videos. One great feature is HDR shooting modes. On the 360 lens, HDR helped to save the highlights around the sun when riding my motorcycle. On the non-HDR video, there was a large, blown-out section of the sky when looking at the sun, but swapping to HDR mode brought a lot of that info back for a better-looking picture. HDR mode on the 360 cam does limit the frame rate from 30 FPS down to 25 FPS. And on the 4K boost lens, there is a new active HDR mode that's tailored to action footage and will also throttle the frame rate down from 4K 60 FPS to 4K 30 FPS. Now, one thing to note here is that Insta360 says, not to use the HDR mode when you are indoors or in dim environments, and they even go as far to say not to do it if you are riding like a bicycle through, a densely wooded forest, somewhere where the light's going to be quite a bit dimmer. So there are definitely going to be some limitations with HDR, but in my experience shooting outside in full sun, it really made a huge difference. And the 4K boost lens worked great as well when I was riding my bicycle. With that FlowState stabilization, it did an incredible job of smoothing out all the bumps that I had. Besides being able to see my arms, you couldn't really tell that it was that bumpy. And beyond that, I felt like the resolution was really sharp and it looked pretty good. And once again, I was outside, so I wasn't in like a low light environment, but I was really impressed with what the picture quality looked like. And with that 4K lens on there, you can do 60 FPS, so you can slow it down and get some, a little bit more of like kind of a slow-mo kind of action to it. And that FlowState stabilization that we just talked about also works great on the 360 lens as well. I was really impressed when I was riding around with how smooth everything looked. And then in post-production, on everything from the camera to the app to Premiere Pro, it was really easy to, reframe everything and get the right image that I really wanted. And the image itself did seem very stable and very smooth thanks to that FlowState stabilization. And the upgraded audio seems to work well on the One RS, though it's still kind of hard with action cameras when you are doing some, high-speed things. Riding my motorcycle around, I could almost hear in the recording when it kind of seems to switch between different microphones to compensate for the wind noise at greater speeds. And the sound became a little more muffled, but still usable. There was definitely still some wind noise that came through, but it wasn't constant and my exhaust was much more audible than the wind. And likewise, when I was on the boat ride with my kids, could get some fun little audio from the water and then also from my kids talking as well, and I felt like the camera did a good job of picking that up. For editing, users can connect to the camera from the Insta360 app and edit on a mobile device. You can also use Insta360's Studio app on a desktop. I think they have options for both Windows and Mac, or you can import the footage and use it in another editing program like Premiere Pro that I use. For short clips and social media sharing, the Insta360 app is plenty powerful. There are some AI editing tools to help make some quick edits if you just want something really quick, or you can dive in and make your own edits with keyframes for how you want to frame everything up. Other features like auto frame and beautify add more functionality to the videos as well. And then when exporting, you can select the resolution, bitrate, and make a couple adjustments to color and noise reduction. One of my favorite ways to edit through the Insta360 app was the snap editing. With this mode, you just kind of hit record, and then you can either physically move the device, your phone, around to kind of reframe the picture, or you can swipe the screen to reposition the angle as well. And then you can also zoom in and out to easily, get a closer up image or kind of get that tiny planet look to it. And then once you've captured the clip that you want to, you just stop the recording and you can export it. It's a really quick and seamless way to export some videos. So overall, just wrapping up here, Insta360's new One RS has been a lot of fun to play around with, and it's a pretty powerful and versatile little camera. Being able to swap out lenses based on what kind of activity you're capturing really is a pretty incredible feature. And the upgraded features over the One R seem to be a worthy progression for the camera line. HDR was definitely helpful in bright sunlight, the mic seemed to work well, and the stabilization keeps images rock solid. At $550 for this kit that includes the 4K boost lens and 360 lens, that is right in line with the competition from GoPro. But because you have these interchangeable lenses on here, it kind of feels like you're getting two cameras in one, which is pretty awesome. Alright, and that'll wrap it up for our quick look at the Insta360 One RS. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments below, and if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I'll link over to the Insta360 Go 2, as well as our most recent video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.